You know, whenever you drive past a car crash, have you ever wondered what's really going on behind all those flashing lights? I mean, from the outside, it just looks like total chaos, but what you're actually seeing is this highly choreographed, super precise procedure. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain, we're going to step right into the boots of a first responder and see exactly how they bring calm to that chaos. Okay, so I want you to imagine this. You're the first emergency medical responder on the scene. You pull up, you see this wrecked car, and you know someone inside is hurt. Your adrenaline is just coursing through you. So, what do you do first? What is your absolute #1 priority right at that moment?
And here's the thing, the answer is probably not what you're thinking. It's not about rushing over to the patient. Your first priority is the scene itself. I mean, the golden rule for any first responder is simple. You can't help anyone if you become a patient yourself. So before they can do anything, before a single bandage comes out, they have to lock down that entire area and make it safe for themselves, for the patient, for everybody.
So those first few minutes on scene are absolutely crucial. It's all about bringing order to what looks like, well, complete chaos. An EMR, an emergency medical responder, they've got two main goals right off the bat. First, create a safe way to get to the patient, and second, make sure that patient is stable enough to be moved. And this whole process, it's got a name. It's called extrication. That's the official term. And it basically just means the process of safely getting someone out of a place they're trapped in, like a wrecked car. And yeah, it sounds complex, but responders don't just wing it. They've got a very clear, very methodical playbook to make sure they get it right every single time.
So how exactly do they pull this off? Well, it is definitely not guesswork, and it's not making it up as they go. Experienced rescuers follow this really disciplined 7-step process for every vehicle extrication. It's a system designed to make sure nothing, absolutely nothing gets missed when the stakes are this high.
And here they are. These are the 7 steps. This is the mental roadmap they follow every time. You've got everything from sizing up the scene right at the beginning all the way to finally removing the patient. But look closely, providing actual medical care, that doesn't even show up until step 4. The first 3 steps are all about safety and just getting to the person. So let's break down those first few because they are critical.
Okay, step 1 is what they call the scene size up. This is literally the first thing they do. It's an immediate 360-degree walk-around of the whole incident. They're asking a few key questions. What exactly am I dealing with here? How many people are involved? And maybe most importantly, what out here can hurt us?
And trust me, that list of potential dangers can be pretty long. Responders are scanning for absolutely everything. You've got the really obvious stuff, right, like downed electrical wires or spilled fuel. But then there's the stuff you might not think about, the danger from oncoming traffic or just how unstable that wrecked car might be.
Which actually brings us perfectly to step 2, stabilization. See, a car that's been in a wreck is, by its very nature, unstable. It could shift, it could roll over, it could even fall at any second. And if that happens, it could hurt the patient even more, or worse, trap a rescuer. So they use these special wooden blocks called cribbing or just simple wheel chocks to make absolutely sure that vehicle isn't going to move, not even an inch.
Okay, so once the scene is safe and that car is rock solid, the focus can finally shift. Now it's time for step 3, gaining access. The question becomes, how do we get to the person inside? And the goal here is always to find the path of least resistance.
And this is where we see that guiding principle in action. Before they even think about bringing out the jaws of life or any of the heavy tools, responders have this simple saying, try before you pry. It means they're going to walk around the entire car and try every single door handle just to see if it'll open normally. And you'd be amazed how often that actually works.
But you know, in a bad crash, those doors are often twisted, warped, jammed shut. So when that happens, the responders have to get creative. They have to make their own door, and usually the fastest way to do that is to go right through a window.
But even this is done with incredible precision. I mean, they don't just smash the glass randomly. They put on heavy-duty gloves and eye protection, they pick a window that's as far away from the patient as possible, and then they use this cool little tool called a spring-loaded center punch. They just press it into a lower corner, and pop, the glass shatters safely. Then they can clear it away and get inside. But how do they know which window to pick?
Well, it all comes down to this. Not all the glass in your car is the same. Your side windows and your rear window, that's usually tempered glass. When you hit it with that center punch, it shatters into thousands of little, kind of harmless, pebbly pieces. But your windshield, that's laminated glass. It's built differently. It's designed to spiderweb and hold together, so you don't get showered with glass in a crash. Trying to get through that is a whole different ballgame. It takes special saws and a lot more time.
Okay, so these core principles we've been talking about, scene safety, stabilizing everything, and then gaining access, they're not just for car crashes on the side of the road. Nope, they are the absolute foundation for all kinds of special rescue situations, and each one brings its own wild set of challenges. So let's take a look at how these same ideas work in some totally different scenarios.
Take a water rescue, for instance. For most of us, our first instinct would be to just jump right in after the person. But for a trained rescuer, that is the absolute last resort. They have a mantra: reach, throw, row, and then go. They will always try to reach the person with something first. If that doesn't work, they'll throw them something that floats. Then they'll try to row out in a boat. Only if all of that fails do they go in themselves. It's all about managing that risk.
Or what about farm rescues? I mean, talk about a totally different set of hazards. Just think about it for a second. You've got massive, complicated machinery. You've got confined spaces like grain silos, which can have dangerous, unbreathable air. And then you've got all kinds of agricultural chemicals. This stuff requires some seriously specialized training.
And what happens when the sheer scale of the incident changes? A bus crash, for example, isn't just a bigger car crash. It's a whole different animal. When you suddenly have dozens of potential patients, it instantly gets declared a mass casualty incident. And that triggers a completely different set of rules, a new protocol that's all about triage and managing a much, much more complex scene.
So, as you can see, it doesn't matter if we're talking about a car, a silo, or a bus. The underlying principle, the big idea, is exactly the same. It's all about applying a calm, methodical system to a situation that is, by its very nature, chaotic and dangerous.
And I think there's this one quote from the training material that just says it all perfectly. Experienced rescuers seldom run. They walk, they talk. And why is that? Because rushing leads to mistakes. It's that deliberate pace, that clear communication, and that intense focus on the process that actually saves lives. It's, the ultimate example of grace under pressure. So maybe the next time you see those flashing lights up ahead, you'll see things a little differently. Instead of just seeing chaos, you'll know to look for the calm. You'll have this totally new appreciation for that quiet, methodical work that's going on, that 7-step playbook that's unfolding just out of your view. It makes you wonder, right? What else are they seeing that we're not?